I'm not sure what's happened to me, to us, to everything. Trying to figure it out. I'm not even sure what there is to figure out. Sometimes I think there are things that we try and figure out when what we need to do is try and learn to live in the moment. We don't live in tomorrow. We don't live in yesterday. We can only live right now with this breath. Nothing more. Last week was a maze and a haze. That led to some really beautiful things. But I know where it began, and I knew where it would end, with a singular pursuit of love, passion, and desire. I have learned something, and if it helps you, I've learned that the greater loss is to live without them. So there is nothing whatsoever that should stand in your path. That is where we find the great moments of our life. That nobody said it would be easy. I've known that for a long time. We live in a wealth of blessings. Some of you know, some of you don't know, that I've been to war many times in my life. I don't mean some figurative understanding of war. I mean war. Truth is, after covering conflicts in Central America, South America, Africa, the Middle East, and just a little bit with the Baltics, I shouldn't be here. I've had enough close calls to know that there was a reason and a purpose for me being here. For some reason, I'm never quite sure what it is. And in those times, sometimes when things get really tough, in those times, sometimes I'll pull these out. It's not that I'm attached to this, that I've worn. I wore these in Iraq. It's that it reminds me of how good we have it. Free from fear of death, destruction, pain, sorrow. Sorrow of the type that you can't even begin to imagine unless you've experienced it. War. The battlefield. The real battlefield where people die. I don't want to sound overly dramatic, but how the hell do you speak of war without sounding dramatic? It lives within me. Know this, that the great battle of our life is to learn to live in the context of love, passion, and desire. Someone sent me something today, a friend of mine, written by Henry Drummond. It was written in the 1800s. It was like 200 years ago. For life with all it yields of joy and woe, and hope and fear, is just our chance of the prize of learning love. How love might be, hath been indeed, and is. And always will be. Always. Let your pursuit be unwavering and relentless. I have no idea what tomorrow will bring, except more work. Always work, but I like being busy. But never too busy to acknowledge love. To acknowledge that creative spark within us that lures us so beautifully and magically into kingdoms beyond, to places where only champions and legends live. May we find it in every moment of our day, in the truth of love, passion, and relentless desire to know them all.